Salam. Phoenix Ramadan L. Jackson welcoming you back in the light of our Brazeera Cyber Network. Where this be the seventh heaven. Okay. Tonight's conversation is a comparison between the means by which the governance of plutocratic democracy is autocratically implemented, reinforced, and ritually, annually woven into society. Also, we will see why. It will verse the means by which the governance of Sharia law is implemented, reinforced, and also ritually, annually woven into society. And also, we will discuss, examine why. From our conversation, we will be able to determine which means of governance is more civilized and environmentally conscious in a or for a naturally humane world. Plutocratic democracy is the primary premise of autocratic divine rule. Mental and spiritual rituals, as in writing, are annually conducted and established through their plutocratic dialogue. To dictate absolute control over human physical behavior, over the humane physical behavior. Thus, they will be able to enact their leadership upon the humane populations. The mentally invisible secret society of Babylonian oligarchs use the precession of the planets as they move through the constellations. They use the star system, or the constellation as a star system. They use dates and time to claim leadership and leadership over the subjugated, outstanding, culturally fragmented humane population. Now, their highest intent is to maintain conformity. Conformity equals order. Order is control. Control is harmony for them. Harmony is peace. So everyone welcome to the weird world of abominating ilk and disharmony, where mental illness is their key to survival. It is the key to their success, the key to key to life, liberty, and their pursuit of happiness. Thus, the oligarchs' degenerative form of commercial bondage. Such harmony is to covertly and directly compel all into accepting the leadership of the plutarchy, a sinister cabal indeed. This cabal is in the hot seat of divine power and authority on the universal grand scale of governance. So they are governing man from their perspective from way high above the rest of the world, because they're following the procession. They're following the procession of the moon and the star, or the moon and the planets. And what they say is what they do. so it be to the world. But if that's the case, get Obama, get off the throne and take your wife with you. I command you to get down off the throne as a believer of Allah, as a marshal of this universe. Get your ass down, and the Pope get down too, and the Congress impeach him. Get out. You're a false leader. You want to be out. You're a false prophet. You're a liar, a deceiver, a criminal on the universal scale, deceiving people that you are Ra or the son of Ra. You're not the son of Ra. Get off the throne. In the name of Allah, get off the throne. And take your wife, take your man bride with you. Okay? Now, get out the seat. Now, so that's what they're trying to do. They govern the world from way, way above, okay? And however they interpret what's going on in the sky, they attempt to construct some type of regulations to enable them to maintain power and authority over your lives. Okay? Now, so, thus place themselves in charge in the power of leadership. Okay? Believing the power of God is extended to them. Okay? So because just as the power Allah, God has absolute power, okay? They believe through following His word as He, moves the planets through the processions, they too have absolute power over the people who are not practicing and paying attention to the word, okay? That's why they have their freedom. That's why they stay in the Plutarch, so that they can continue to follow the word and be segregated from the heathens on earth, okay, who follow earthly temptation, okay, and physical sensation, okay. So, and like God Himself, having absolute power and authority over all that is subject to His divine rule, thus is the holy divine right of Allah God. Now, as followers of the six celestial bodies, okay, the Democrats believe they have this same divine right. And remember the sacrifices they do in the past, they did, to be, well, we won't go there. Okay, in regards to the heart and all that kind of stuff, sacrificing the woman, well, that's done here too, okay? It's just all done on a more technologically advanced scale, okay? Yeah. So, they believe they have this same right to rule. Their democratic rule must be obeyed. It must be absolute obedience. Just as there's absolute obedience to God, it must be absolute obedience to the oligarchs, right? Or yeah, the plutocrats and the polygarch, right? Yeah, the oligarchs and the polygarchs, okay? And the autocrats and the autocrats in the plutocracy. They have so many beautiful words, right? Okay, so they must be obeyed, right? Their democracy must be, their democratic rules must be obeyed, right? It must be enforced, and severely, with severe punishment, kept to the degree of capital punishment, right? Capital punishment, death by electricity, or death by lethal injection, or death just rotting one's soul in what? In incarceration. But nonetheless, it's death. Okay? It's a death sentence. okay, to which many, many, what, are on death row, and many, many are incarcerated, right, for victimless crimes, right? Yeah. Okay. But nonetheless, they must be enforced, right? By what? The military-industrial complex force, right? Okay. And what? Depleted uranium, right? Nuclear reinforcement. Okay. And a grade A military fighting force, right? Because this is the arm of God, right? The polygarchs have the arms of God, and no one else is supposed to have arms, not even Venus, right? That's why hers is chopped off, right? The woman is not even supposed to have a head, right? Because that's why Medusa's cut off, because when those bombs go off, right, they do not stop in the face of a child and say, oh, wrong address, wrong gender, wrong age group, wrong class, wrong building, wrong hospital, and excuse, we're going to back out and apologize. The bombs don't do that. The depleted uranium doesn't do it. It indiscriminately destroys, right? Even the land, right? The water, the DNA, right? But it must be done. Anything by any means necessary. Okay. That's right. The divine law of democracy, the divine role of democracy, divine reinforcement of democracy, right? Okay. So now, so it's going to be enforced from atop Capitol Hill, right? From Capitol Hill comes capital punishment. Okay. It is to administer the will of God, His divine democracy, on those subjects living in a shared hell, inhospitable earthen place below, gnashing their teeth at Mother Nature and all that is holy. Another, okay, in another dog-eat-dog situation, okay, in their commercially ill-structured world, to live their life, to dwell therein forever, because there's no mercy down there, right? There's no mercy on earth, okay? Those who implement the policy, those who implement the governance, okay? The rule of governance, they are lords, landlords, right? Controllers of the land, okay? They make the rules for the land, and if anybody's atop the land, well, they are subject to the Lord, right? To the rhythm and rhyme of the Lord, all right? Remember, this was a Puritan establishment, democracy, okay? The oligarchs rule, money rules, aristocrat rules, okay? That is where they came in with the voting. 3/5 of a vote, basically, okay? So they rule with the iron fist of God. Okay? And no one can come up against that. Okay, now, and just as the humane population has been instructed to observe the Lord thy God that sits on high, so too must the subjects be made to serve those polygarchs, exalted oligarchs, who follow the divine celestial procession led directly by God. But everybody else has to go to the Son of God. The oligarchs go straight to God, just like Muslims. Just like Muslims go straight to God, straight to Allah. There is no mediation. And just like I'm saying in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Obama, get out the White House. Get off Capitol Hill. You are not fit to serve. nor are you competent. And take your man bride with you, because that's the abomination. Then Pope, get him down. You get down too. And Izzy in England, you get down too. None of you are martial enough to serve. Get out. In the name of Allah, get out off his throne, trying to rule from his throne, misleading the humanity. You're not capable or competent. Now, again, so they sit on high hills, right? The seven hills of Rome. Get off the 7 hills. The Capitol Hill, right? Get off the hill. What else? Yeah. Exalting themselves as rulers over humanity. They're criminals and thieves. No. So, they since they say they follow the celestial procession, right, led directly by thy Lord, thy God of heaven and earth, above and below, right? Thus they are titans, doing the will of God, acting in place, sitting in a high place in principalities. Obama acting as what? The son of God, the son, Leo, the fourth of God, right? Went to Egypt to visit his father, the then Mubarak, okay, Hosni Mubarak, the then Ra in the east, okay, the Pharaoh, okay, known as the father, okay. So he went to go visit his father, and he said that's what he was going to do. He told the world he was going to visit his father, and he sat with his father, and he spoke with his father. Though he's not his father, he's an impersonation. You're not an African, you're not African man, you're not of the mother. You didn't have the mother as a mother, so don't go there. Get off the throne. In the name of Allah, get off the throne. All right. Or mankind, pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, use his will to get him, his Allah's will to get him off the throne, take him off the throne, move him off the throne. Okay? Now, he's no titan, he's no demigod. He doesn't stand in and represent the sun. Okay? Because the titans were supposed to be, as I wrote, the titans were in antiquity were supposed to be representatives of the planets. That's what made them the gods, because the planets are supposed to be seen as the gods. But in Islam, of course, we don't admire the planet and the sun and the moon, but they are not Allah. They are not the creator of heaven and earth. They did not create themselves. Okay? Okay. And the planets are said to be created between Uranus and what? And Earth, Gaia, right? So therefore, all the children are demigods, okay? And because they're representing the planets, right? Okay, the Titans. Okay, so hence landlords, as we said. Service and the humane population of the world, which is subject to them, because right, the first is the God stars, God, heaven, and earth, right? They're ruling heaven for God above earth, right? Because if the heavenly bodies are the stars and they are representing stars, okay, then they are above earth, right? So they're ruling the earth because they're above and here people are below. They must be forced to act in accordance with what is being dictated in heaven, right? Okay. Okay. So, and as I said, it's incumbent upon all subjects to God to fulfill their duty as a servant to the Lord. Okay? All fragmented human cultures or classes, depending on which part of the globe you're on, you're either in a class or a caste, okay, of culture, okay, the worldly domain dwellers, okay, so all the fragmented human cultures or classes of the earthly domain below must serve, protect, and serve and protect their leaders with their very lives by making them think they're a part of the plutocracy or the plutocracy. or the polyarchy, okay? Making them feel they are one with them. We're united as one nation under God. They are the one perceive themselves to, the polyarchs perceive themselves to be the one nation ruling on behalf of God, the subjugated on behalf of God, and those subjugated are to find themselves, educate themselves to serve the plutocracy. So whether they're a lawyer, a doctor, or what have you, by profession, okay, their duty, whatever profession, is to serve the crown race, right? The crown race. The heirs, right? The heirs, as we spoke of, right? So every human being is to, human being is to serve and protect the crown. So their job, whatever it is, if it's a street sweeper, he is to pay homage to the crown, right? The crown race, right? Those representing the crown, the heavenly, the oligarch, right? Educate themselves, as I said, for the crown. Okay? And they pay no taxes to the crown. Okay? They are bonded to the crown. Okay? Now, so they must serve to protect their masters for life. Right? Now, their autocratic their autocratic deified Plutarchian aristocracy, right? Afro-stock race, right? The Afro-stock race of being is the aristocracy, but they just taken the F out. It's the Afro-stock race, okay? Coming from who? The Holy Mother, as we spoke. So they're the holy sons of the Holy Mother, okay? On her white side, right? But it's still under the Holy Mother, the crown, the Aphrodite, the hair, right? Who rose out of the sea, right? Out of the blood, right? Came from the blood, okay? The Holy Grail, right? Comes from the blue, the sea, the water, because we said, right? Salt water and blood is the same, okay? Okay. Now, so we said, everyone was served the Afro stock race, right? They must be protected in their divine position of authority and leadership of the plutocracy, which is democracy, right? Because the plutocracy ruled by divine writ, divine right. Divine writings, divine scripture, okay? Divine scripture, so democracy is holy scripture, right? Okay, now, so under the plutocracy, democracy, under the plutocracy, under the polygarchian, if that's a word, leadership, democracy and all culture is separated, okay, and built, usurped of all the earthen natural resources. The mass populations must be zapped of all redeeming qualities so that they can be born again, right? They can be saved, they can be salvaged, so they must be stripped of all their earthly nature and become more like their leaders in the plutocracy, right? Okay. Now, so they must be stripped like a stripper, okay? They are collectively raped after they're stripped, right? As man or woman power, their woman power and female power is stripped. Their voice is removed to represent themselves, because now they have representatives. They have elected officials that represent their voice. collective representation, right? And that too is enforced, right? Because the South couldn't succeed. I'm glad they didn't, but the point is they couldn't do it because they were part of the Union, right? Now, because it's enforced, their collective representation. Now, no voice speaks by itself, or can speak by itself and for itself. And then if they go to court, they have to have a voice, okay? A representative there to represent them. They can't represent themselves in a court of democracy. Okay, they don't know the law, right? The written word. They don't have the word. Okay? The word is important. Know the word. Live by the word. Okay? Okay, so knowledge is power, right? Okay, so, now, so then place through that way, so they're stripped and their collective voice or collective power, their collective natural resources, everything is taken away for their salvation. So that they, when they're born again like babies, old, okay, with no human inclination or human temptation or anything like that, right? Okay, so, now, they're raped through a series of aristocratic, unobtainable, self-righteous standards, okay, reconstructed as democracy. So aristocracy is transformed and shoved down the people's throat with a plutonium spoon, right? Yeah. Or on a nuclear spoon, the people are shoved depleted uranium down their throats with the people are shoved plutonium down their throats in the name of democracy. Take their medicine, right? Won't be able to call nobody in the morning. We won't have a voice to tell anybody about it, right? Okay. Now, because you've got to have representation, that's got to come from what? That's got to come well, you could be represented. It's going to be represented by what? The word. Okay. The word of democracy, or the plutocracy. Now, so it's reconstructed as democracy for the people and served to the people, by the people, and for the people, right? For the people and by the people. Such prejudice policies create injustice and corruption and and all sociopathic leadership, throughout the sociopathic procession of leadership. We're taking a break. We're going to go to video 2. Salam alaikum.